orgasming was something I would do out of one. I just wanted the experience to end because maybe they were jackhammering and it was uncomfy. And I was like, okay, like let's get this over with.
Yeah.
But two, it was also a way to please my partner because I know them turning me on turns them on, you know? And unfortunately, though, in doing that, I kind of trained them to do the wrong thing for my body. And so then they're like, oh, jackhammering is the way she comes. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this to get the jackhammering over with.
All right. Welcome to the Sexy Biz Babe podcast. I have a special guest on today. We're going to be talking about how to orgasm with a vulva. And we're going to be dropping in, asking good questions, giving good tips, possibly in a partnership and solo. So I have Abigail Jensen on today from Rat Girls Podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Abigail Jensen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I am, I guess, a sex educator and comedian, and I use my platform online to teach women how to orgasm and feel confident during sex.
Ooh, I love that. She has a great Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yes.
So very free, very fun, not too what's the word? Has to be perfect.
Yes, totally.
Which is so inspiring because whenever I get in that comparisonitis and I stop posting, then I'm I look at one of your accounts and you're doing great and it's so fun and it's more open and I connect with it more and it reminds me that I need to stop being so perfect. Try to be perfect.
That's so kind. I feel like I have gotten myself into a really lucky position where I just make these how-to videos that almost feel like I'm Mr. Rogers, but of sex. Just really breaking it down in an elementary, a way that everyone can understand without judgment. Because everyone's expected to be good at sex, but we were never taught how.
Yeah.
We were not even really taught anything about sex growing up.
Yeah, and we're just trying to learn off of porn.
Yeah.
And what other people say, and I don't know, how do you feel about that? Learning from porn.
Learning from porn is, of course, don't, please.
Don't.
If it helps you feel confident, and give you a visualization of what things look like. There are some female-friendly porns, I think, that would be good. Cheeks is a female-friendly porn platform and shows what things look like outside of penetration. But I think a lot of porn are made by men for men, just showing penetration, and women watching it and men watching it aren't going to know what brings women pleasure.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem is that just jackhammering doesn't usually bring the orgasms for a good percentage of women.
Oh my God. And it's so painful after a second. That's not a fun feeling if someone's just pushing into your body as hard as possible.
Especially without warm up. And we have, what is it called? The orgasm gap or the foreplay time. We need more foreplay. Isn't it 15 to 20 minutes we need on average?
20 minutes for our vagina to do vaginal tenting. Ooh. And so when we do vaginal tenting, it's our vagina starts to lubricate itself, prepare itself for a penis or dildo or any kind of penetration. And it grows in size. I always accidentally say it grows 3 times in size because that's what the Grinch's heart grows.
Oh, yeah.
But it grows in size and makes room. And so the idea of a tight vagina, it's it means you're not warmed up yet. You should be your body should be prepped to take whatever is penetrating it.
Yes. And I think that covers a lot of why women don't have as much pleasure or desire for sex. And if you're in a partnership and maybe the woman or either partner is not desiring sex, maybe there's something that needs to be addressed or talked about.
Totally.
Maybe it's the foreplay, maybe it's the type, maybe it's not covering their needs and desires. It needs to be talked about.
Well, you're not going to desire something that's not good, not pleasuring you, and you're especially not going to be desiring something that causes you pain. So if you're not warming up enough and your vagina is still tight and hasn't done that tenting, or your partner's jackhammering, you're going to feel pain and you're not going to want to have sex.
Ooh, okay. So say you're in a partnership.
Yeah.
and your partner has that higher sex drive that wants it quickly and easily, and you've already been saying like, I need a little more foreplay, I need a little more floor play, but that's not really getting through to them, what would your tips be to communicate this to?
Yeah, that's interesting because you would hope that a partner would just be receptive as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But I think I would say like, this is literally my, like you were compliment sandwich, as you so greatly expressed earlier. Be like, I love having sex with you. It feels so amazing. You're doing a great job. Like, I just think that like my body, like biologically, I need time to get into it or it's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Could we take like 20 minutes of maybe some like clit stimulation and then we get into what it is that you are into. And because that feels so good, like I'll be even more ready to enjoy it.
Yeah. The compliment sandwich will be very helpful leading with that. I know that some people can get really touchy, have their ego pop up during sex conversations or any criticism. So, lead with what you like. It's not all bad. Maybe they're doing something good in life or the relationship. And then like finish with something good. And what if they're continually in a partnership to have those issues with intimacy?
I mean, seek out a coach, seek out a therapist. I mean, it would concern me if like you were telling your partner something was causing them pain and they weren't resonating with that. That is definitely something I would like examine further. And that's when you would want to get help involved. Like,
Well, I'm going to ask a question that I want you to be open with.
Yeah,
and I know
always.
a lot of women have, but have you ever faked an orgasm?
Of course.
Okay.
Like every woman I have,
Yeah. So I don't know if I actually have.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about your history where you focus more on your pleasure. So that's interesting.
So I will maybe like help people that you don't have to fake an orgasm. It doesn't mean anything. It like sometimes they'll be like, oh, did you not have fun? You could just be like, no, I did. I enjoyed my time.
Yeah.
I just don't always orgasm.
Sex can be pleasurable without orgasming. To be clear, I do not fake orgasms anymore. Yes. This was a very much before I was sexually liberated and before I knew that sex was just as much focused on my pleasure as my partner's pleasure. Yeah. Orgasming was something I would do out of one, I just wanted the experience to end because maybe they were jackhammering and it was uncomfy and I was like, okay, like let's get this over with.
Yeah.
But two, it was also a way to please my partner because I know them turning me on turns them on, And unfortunately, though, in doing that, I kind of trained them to do the wrong thing for my body. And so then they're like, oh, jackhammering is the way she comes. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this to get the jackhammering over with.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like the biggest reason why not to fake orgasms.
Yes.
Especially, after something that you don't like. So what other reasons is a good reason not to fake orgasm?
Yeah. I mean, of course, like because then it's not focusing on your pleasure. And you're not, if you're in the mindset that I need to fake an orgasm, you're already thinking outside of sex. You're not being in the moment and you're not focusing on your pleasure. And so I think that just getting to know your body and yourself and what makes you come on your own first, and then being able to bring that to a partner is going to be super empowering because you're going to know exactly what it is you are into.
Yeah, and if a woman struggles with that, finding what gets her turned on, what gets her aroused, and she's like, oh, I just like to have my partner do it. Kind of like give that power to them. What would you tell them?
I would say, please, like set aside the time and just, you don't even have to go in with the intention of masturbating. Like first set aside the time and look at your vulva. And make sure you know the different parts of the clit because it's not just that little gland pleasure button at top. It actually looks kind of like a wishbone. It has legs that sit under the lips and it has bulbs that sit around the vaginal opening. And I would say make sure you, one, are aware of these different parts on yourself. Then just test touching them. It doesn't even have to be in a sexual way, but see what feels best. And if that leads to you wanting to explore more sexually by yourself, amazing. And if not, that's okay. But then go and tell your partner, like, hey, I at least tried touching these different areas and I know which one is causing me the most sensations, and explore together from there.
Yeah. And I love saying to go look at your yoni. And some notes is like, get a mirror.
Yes.
Go look at it, and do not shame her.
Oh, never. There's a reason vulvas are like depicted as flowers. Like they are gorgeous. They are stunning. They're soft. They're squishy. Like it's so funny. I grew up with no sex education, and that's bad, obviously.
Yeah.
But in part of that, I also didn't grow up with the shame. So I didn't even know women were ashamed of their vulvas, because I just was like, this is just, it looks like what it looks like. It's down here. Yeah. So whenever anyone went down there, I was just like, here it is. This is what's on my body. And having that confidence just automatically makes you feel better about yourself and more in tune to yourself and more confident to ask for what you want in the bedroom.
Yeah, because you can relax, you can let go, you can get comfortable, and find something you like about her. I found a really cool I was going to call it a workshop, but something that was healing was to do a yoni painting. I got it off of the idea of like Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
But I did it myself with a friend. I mean, I wasn't showing her my yoni.
If you were, I would not judge.
I was going into the bathroom and looking here and there and like making a beautiful painting, adding some like specifics, making it like purple and pink and a little bit of gold. And then I put it on my bathroom.
Totally.
And gave her love.
Yes. My main like painting decoration throughout our house is literally paintings I've done of vulvas and yonis. One, because I'm a bad painter and it's like pretty much just a few lines. So I feel it's like easy for me to do. But it is like if you start viewing just vulva, not even your own, but vulvas in general as beautiful and as like a gift and a flower, like you're going to then internalize that and apply it to your own vulva.
And then I just recommend maybe Googling. Googling could be a little bit weird, but going on to like art.
There's
like
the vulva gallery.
Vulva galleries that we can see all the different shapes and sizes and not compare yourself to porn where they may only hire specific types.
Totally.
And so like go look at the different types. Give them love. Like would you really shame all these other different types of yonis? They're all different shapes and sizes and colors. And like give it love. Give it love.
And I've like, also been on a body journey, like, and trained my brain to like positively think about my body as well. Cause obviously it's so easy to be self-conscious about that. And every time I look in the mirror at a photo, before I can even have a negative thought, I just compliment something that I see. And you can do the same for your yoni. Like it is just train your mind to think positively and then it's going to.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever not been able to have an orgasm?
Oh, of course. Okay. Yes. Well, so I didn't even have an orgasm. This is why I got into this. I talked to a lot of girlfriends after I had my first orgasm and realized it was very common that my girlfriends were not orgasming, just like I was not.
Yes.
And so I had my first one at 25.
Okay.
When I watched, there's like a docu show on Netflix called Explained, and one episode was about explaining orgasms. And the girl on the show had never had an orgasm, just like me. She laid a towel down, she got a vibrator, turned the lights off, and just like let herself have hours with herself. So I did the exact same thing, and it changed my life. Like literally, I've never felt better. And when I heard that it wasn't just me experiencing this, it was also my friends, my mom, her friends, like all these people, I was like, oh, I like am now going to devote my life to like the good word of the clit.
Yes.
Be a disciple.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know what year I finally had an orgasm, but I remember my first, few years of having sex, I definitely did not orgasm.
Yeah.
And a big part was just, I don't know. I felt like there was something wrong with me.
Totally.
I wasn't tuning into my body. I wasn't letting go. I wasn't surrendering. I was just like, yeah, bing, bang, boom. Yeah, that's fun. I would have foreplay. I would enjoy it. But I wasn't letting go. I wasn't releasing. And also I was comparing myself to porn and like a guy of it's just like white liquid coming out. It's so obvious.
Totally.
And it took me years to realize that we orgasm in very different ways. It could be the internal organs just, pulsating. That's an orgasm. It doesn't have to secrete liquid.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, sorry, my brain just like totally flubbed. But no, you saying that made me realize like, yeah, I think that there's this pressure around orgasming and people, since we're not talking about it, everyone's assuming everyone else is doing it. And it's unfortunately not happening. And the number one reason for not orgasming is lack of attention paid to the clit. You can have mental blocks as well. You can have, you're too dry, any specific thing, but number one is clit. So that's where we always start.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask a question what would you say to a couple that the guy has a really hard time, maybe it's past trauma, that he doesn't want to bring a vibrator into the bedroom. Yeah. But the woman really does, but she doesn't want to push it because he is really adamant on not.
Totally. I mean, I would just say like a vibrator can't replace you. It can't kiss. It can't cuddle. It's a tool to make sex better for your partner. Don't you want them to experience pleasure? It's just like when I give a blowjob, instead of just using my mouth, I use the tool that is my hands as well, to give it a little more pressure. And I would just say like focus on making your partner feel good and maybe give yourself some affirmations in the mirror if that's helpful for you too before you're like going into a sex moment with a vibrator, and just be like, I can also pleasure my partner. I'm also good in the bedroom. This vibrator can't replace me. It's not loving my partner the same way. It's just helping her feel good.
Yeah, I love a vibrator with sex. Oh my goodness, it makes it so much better. I can't even fathom why you wouldn't want to bring that to your partner. And I feel like there's like past trauma that just needs to be talked about and discussed of like why, like being curious, like, hey, why do you feel insecure might not be the right word, but why do you not want to bring a vibrator into the bedroom? What was that past experience? Can we talk about it?
Totally.
I like it because of this.
Yeah.
Like just having that hard discussion, I think will bring a lot of healing, and it's a must have.
Yeah. Get to the root of it and know that like women or people with a vulva in the bedroom are 2 times more likely to orgasm if they do have a vibrator.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with you. It's just like the statistics of it. Like it's just more likely to help them. And it's either 51 or 53% of people do use a vibrator in the bedroom. So I also want women not to feel ashamed, because it is whatever you want during sex is normal, but using a vibrator is very normal and it's happening often.
Yeah, I'm curious. I've heard people say that you get desensitized with vibrators. What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting. I have never experienced this. I do think just if you have something on your clit for a while, whether it's hands or a vibrator, it will get tingly into the point where it's like too much. Like sometimes I get where it's like, I can't touch it. It's too tingly, like too sensitive. And usually this like, it's been shown that shouldn't last for more than 24 hours. If it does, then maybe you go talk to a gyno or pelvic floor specialist to see if there's anything else going on there with like your nerves. But I think like your most reliable way to orgasm is completely okay. Yeah. Do what works best for you. And then if you want to, be able to orgasm from fingers instead of just your vibrator, you can do a little bit of cross training. You can start with the vibrator, then you can do a little finger action, go back to the vibrator. So then your vulva is getting used to both sensations.
Yeah, I do think that's good. I think it's good to mix it up and not to rely too heavily on the same thing every single time you masturbate or have pleasure. Mix it up. Hey, we used a vibrator. Let's do a different position. Let's use the vibrator after a little bit of stimulation. That way it's just mixing it up and keeping it fun. And it's not like you're going to be desensitized. It's just mixing it up, keeping it fresh.
But if one thing brings you pleasure and is easy for you, and you also like you are mixing it up, and that's great. But if you're like, oh, I want to go back to this too, like you can go back.
Fine.
Don't feel shame around either way what you're doing.
I love that. Okay, so what is one of the most unexpected things that's ever helped you achieve orgasm?
Smut books.
Yes.
I love my smut books. I think they're or just romantasy. It doesn't even have to be smut, but I think that they're so great at opening your mind and seeing something written by a woman and like knowing your desires are okay. Like when I see bondage or when I see like a little violence or, you know, knife play, whatever, knowing your desires are okay and other people are desiring it is super helpful. And smut books just help me have sex on the brain more often because I'm a responsive desire person. I'm not just naturally thinking about sex unless I like schedule it or like switch into it. Yeah. You know?
Okay, what's your favorite? So we can like maybe like 1, 2, or 3
my God, yes.
so people can give it a try.
So I love, of course, Fourth Wing. That's having a huge
I've heard
moment.
about this over and over. My friend, I bought one for my friend.
Oh my God.
I looked at it and gave it to her for her birthday. So
totally.
I don't know. I guess I need to read it.
Yeah, and smut books like aggressive, like that's more romantasy, but it has romance and then it has like 3 or 4 like very hot sex scenes in it. And so, I mean, that just helps you think about it more often. Obviously, also everyone's talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm having a book club starting in April 24th. We're talking about the first one. We're going to go through all of them, talk about like the sexual themes, the romantic themes, which I'm super excited for. Throne of Glass is more romance later, but if you love like big tales, big like epics, later it gets sexy, but you have to get through like 5.5 books, but it's worth it. And then right now I'm reading Kiss of the Basilisk, which is all sex. So if you're looking for like a, you know, other side of it, you can also find ones that are basically just like sex.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I kind of want that one. I don't even know what it was called, but I'll go back. What was it called again?
Kiss of the Basilisk. It's very good.
Okay. That sounds fun. I never really loved porn very much. Like I would look at it. I would try to learn a little bit. I remember I liked it here and there, still just very sparingly because I get more aroused with the brain. So like the 50 Shades of Grey when I was way younger, it was something that I loved. Romance. And then what is that? Outlander?
Oh, Outlander. Oh my. Shout out to Outlander for being a sexual awakening for so many people.
I loved the passion and the love and the fucking. And so that was like my porn. Yeah. Like I would get so aroused and just that stimulates me. Like the knowing the characters.
Yes. And that's why I love the books. I love the like backstories. I love using sex as a way to move the plot forward, like make the characters feel more connected. It's like, sometimes we need more than just we're in sex right now. Yeah. You know, we need the foreplay.
Okay. I'm going to share one of mine.
Yes.
So one of mine that helps me achieve orgasm that is a little bit different is nipple clamps.
Yes.
It's just something, and I don't always bring it in the bedroom with my partner, whatever, but it just is something that gets me there.
Yeah, great.
It's having the sensation. It's just something that I really love. And so, I use them very often, especially for masturbation, and it's something that I enjoy.
I've never tried because my nipples are inverted. So like, I don't know if I'd have to like clamp more of the like boob, you know, basically. I don't know how it would work if they would really stay on there. But I love having a sensation to focus on because I'm such an ADHD girly. My mind will wander unless I'm thinking about a fantasy story, listening to music, or focusing on a sensation. And then I can really focus in and be in the moment.
Yes. Ooh, I think this brings up a really good topic of ADHD. Yes. I really think that ADHD was why I struggled with getting to orgasm when I was younger. Because I was just so in my head. I was doing so many other things. I needed I'm also a shapeshifter. Do you know what that is?
No.
In the erotic blueprint.
Tell me.
Oh my God, I'll have to send you an episode or something.
I would love.
But there's the 5 erotic blueprints, which is like the love language, but for sex.
Cool.
And so learning that I want multiple things and multiple stimulations and I'm a kinky helped me understand why it was harder for me to achieve orgasm.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool.
So I'll have to send you the quiz.
Yeah, I would love to take it.
Anybody interested, just DM me quiz. I'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's very helpful. And I feel like I struggled because I was just so all over the place and in my mind, this, that, this needs to be better. and really tapping into my body, letting go, surrendering, maybe adding some more sensation, like the nipple clamps to really take my mind into my body.
Yeah.
Helped. What about you? What are your tips for ADHD and orgasm?
Yes. Well, ADHD girlies, it is okay. It's okay if your mind wanders every now and then. It's like meditation. It's like acknowledge it's wandering and then like move it back. I am such a guilty person of being like in the middle of the bedroom being like, did I send that email? Like, what's for dinner tonight? Bouncing around. Something that really helps me is mantras. Just saying over and over again, this feels so good. This feels so good. Like repeating something over and over again, or like focusing on my breathing, the in and out, focusing on my partner's breathing, the sensations, pain, pleasure, ice, cold, hot, whatever it is, or just putting something else that my mind can be focused on, like listening to an audio erotica book or just an audio erotica.
Or music,
And that's just helps me just be like, okay, that's what my mind's on. My body can be here.
Yeah, the breath really helped me. Whenever I'm getting too in my head, I start taking those deep breaths in.
Yeah.
And then slowly out. And it helps me connect to the pleasure. Sometimes I feel like it kind of makes it less for a minute because you're all tight. But then when you relax, it will build back up and it will be more intense. Totally. Is what I found.
And practicing breathing and mindfulness outside of the bedroom is going to help you do it in the bedroom, which I say with like a kind of like, damn it, because I am such like, I hate sitting still. Same. I hate meditating, but I know it's so good for me and it does work. And so it's like, I wish there was an easier way, but unfortunately you just got to put in the work.
Yeah. How you do one thing, you do all things. That is something that has shifted me for the rest of my life, is saying that and then figuring out, oh, wait, one of my recent ones was how am I getting scarcity in all the ways? It's like, oh, scarcity is showing up for me. Yeah. How is it showing up for my relationships? How is it showing up for money? How is it showing up for sex? Yeah. And it starts showing its head, and then you heal one way, it will start spreading throughout the different areas.
Interesting. Yeah. And then you have abundance? Is that the opposite?
That's the goal. And like focusing on like, ooh, what areas am I abundant?
Yeah.
And how can I be more abundant in this and this and this? And like starting to do those little things.
Cool.
Yeah. It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're married, correct?
Yes.
So what are some of those tips to bring that spark back when you're having one of those lulls or time apart? You're not aroused, he's not aroused, you're just not on the same page. Yeah, I'd love to hear all the tips.
Yes. Well, of course, communicating is like the number one thing that makes your sex life good. And my husband has a spontaneous desire and I have a responsive desire. So spontaneous means he can be turned on out of the blue. Like he could be working and think about sex.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm working and I'm thinking about work and stressed as fuck. And I really have to shift myself into sex mode. So something that has helped me a ton is scheduling. Yeah. I love to schedule. I will do anything if it's on the calendar. And I know it can make people feel a little not sexy. Yeah. But if you think back to the beginning of your relationship, like you were scheduling dates, which was essentially scheduling sex. Now that you live with each other, you're living life and you're not scheduling those moments together. And so going out of your way to do that and connect. And if I feel emotionally connected to my partner, I'm going to feel more inclined to be physically connected to them as well. So we schedule sexy dates and we schedule dates for connection.
Yeah. It's so important. I had to do that too. And sometimes your partner or yourself doesn't feel like it's fun or sexy. Yeah. Or some of them feel pressure to then have sex. Right. If you don't, then they failed. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I would say, you never have to do it. Like it's just this is the time we're setting aside to connect. But maybe instead of having sex, you're just laying in bed together, looking at each other and breathing. Yeah. And like that in itself will make you feel more connected to your partner and then add to wanting to have more sex with them in the future.
Maybe even taking sex, penetration off the table, but just having some connection. I've heard that could really help is like if you're really struggling in sex and somebody's feeling pressure, take it off the table and just have connection and maybe do everything but. And I think that'll start revving it up and feeling less pressure.
And when you take it off the table, it suddenly becomes hot. Like when it's like forbidden. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. So give yourself a chance to connect with your partner again. My partner do this thing every night called Tima. Where just, even if we've spent the day running around, not being near each other, it forces us to connect. T is we're touching while we do it. E is we educate each other. We say something we learned that day. A is we say an appreciation for our partner.
Love that.
M is a metric. If anything happened during that day that maybe bugged us that our partner did, we bring it up so it doesn't fester and we don't hold on to that and resent them. And it gives us a chance to talk about it. And then we end with another A so that we're like compliment sandwich. Another appreciation. Yeah. So we just are making them know how much we love them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Do that often. You could even start with once a month, once a week. But I would say the more often, the better.
We do it every night. And it's like our favorite part of the day.
Aww,
yeah.
I love that. What is a time that you felt most connected to your body that stands out to you that you would like to share?
I think anytime I take for myself alone to just go explore. Like, even though I now know what makes me orgasm, it's always good to just like see what else is out there. So like listening to audio erotica, I don't know if you've heard of Quinn. They are this like amazing audio erotica app that has you, it's first person. So it's on you. Like you're the focus. Ooh. Yeah. And they're talking to you and you can do all these different kinds of things. It can be, you're a sub, you're a dom. It's like a first date, you're kissing, you're like, you know, it can be really innocent and sweet. It can be really like, there's one that's like, there was this guy chasing you and it's like, you know, your boyfriend, but you guys are role playing and he's someone chasing you and grabbing you to have sex with you. And I think something like that, where you're just constantly exploring new things, one, helps you feel confident in what you like, but two, it kind of helps you work through some of the shame you have, some of the questions you might have around a sex. And it just like takes you to this next level of like comfortability and exploration. And that has just like made me become so much closer to myself and so much more confident in my fantasies and what it is I like.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a theme that we've had this whole episode is taking your power back to owning your sex drive, owning that you play a part in your desire and your orgasm. So taking that back and you turn yourself on, you learn your pleasure, you communicate your boundaries, your needs, your wants, your desires. You spend time to get yourself in the mood by listening to Erotica and doing these things to help your partner. And I think that's the teamwork that sometimes isn't talked about. It's like, my partner should be doing this, my partner should be doing that. But honestly, we got to do the work for ourselves. And I learned that is like, okay, one of my partners was a sexual erotic blueprint, which was like very like just turned on just with looking at a picture. Yeah. Turned on with talking to me. He was just very easy. Yeah. And what I had to learn that I took my power back and I would like get myself in the moment. Like maybe it was the lighting, maybe it was the music, maybe it was I send him pictures to get aroused throughout the day. Totally. Or get in my body and do a dance first or in lingerie. Yeah. And then I'm aroused to get there a little bit sooner with him.
Totally. Environment's so huge. I love that you brought that up because I hadn't mentioned that. Yeah, it's learning like your ideal situation. Like if your ideal sex fantasy, like in your mind, are you clean? Have you showered? Are the lights off? Is there music playing? Like write down what your ideal moment with your partner would look like. Yeah. And then try to, you know, do that.
Yeah. Create it.
Yeah, create it. Make it happen.
It's teamwork in a partnership. Like create that. You turn on the lights. It doesn't have to be your partner. I'm sorry. Like, how do you feel about that? When I just hear like people are like, well, my partner, I wish he would light the candles and turn off the lights and he would do this, this, and this. Like, what would you say?
Well, I'd say one, your partner's not a mind reader. Like that's going to be really hard. I think we, especially with sex, have to be so explicit about what we want. And you can do it and just say like, hey, I'd love for next time we do this, maybe you take initiative and try it out, or, but they don't have to too. It's like,
Yeah.
you both are bringing things to the table. They have their own baggage, their own, thoughts, their own internal monologue they're dealing with as well to get them there. And so I just think outside of even just like, yes, both showing up for each other, also both just having grace for each other.
I agree. And putting in your work and being a team player. Any other like really big tips that helped you achieve orgasm?
Yeah, I mean, just testing different hand motions, different kind of vibrators, just trying it all really, and knowing what makes sex most pleasurable for me. Most people who say they have amazing sex lives, who like come out and say my sex life is 10 out of 10. I learned this from Emily Nagoski being on the pod. She was saying like, it's not because of the amount of sex they're having. It's not the frequency. It's how pleasurable it is when it's in that moment. And so just knowing what makes you the most pleasurable and bringing that to your partnered sex.
I love that. And what would you say is the most misunderstood for vulva owners achieving orgasm?
Well, of course, I feel like the clit, like people thinking penetration is the way to come. It's something like only 15% of people with a vulva can come from penetration alone. That's not the exact number, but you need some kind of clit stimulation to orgasm. And it doesn't look like porn. It doesn't look like it does in the movies. It's okay to take that time and take up that space for you guys to focus on the clit. And you're not going to come at the same time most often. Either you will come first or they will come first. And you can continue afterwards with a vibrator, which I think is freeing for men too, because they have this fear of like coming too quickly.
Yeah.
But so if they come, then you can use a vibrator. They can go down on you, whatever. If you come, you guys can do penetration still, or you can give them a blowjob, hand job, whatever it is. Like, it's very rare you guys will come at the same time.
Yes. And I'm going to ask a question that may preface a future episode. What do you believe about sexual compatibility? Do you have to have the same sexual compatibility? Do you have to have both high sex drive, or do you think you can have low and high? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think sex drive is not as important as pleasure. I think if you're willing to work and show up for each other, when you show up, as long as the sex is pleasurable, that's the most important part. And having pleasurable sex is going to make you guys both want sex more often. I think you can learn your desire types, and that will help you tune into having sex more or less depending on what your partner, your needs are. I do think sexual compatibility for what you guys like in the bedroom is important. But there's also a give and take. Like sometimes maybe you show up for your partner and you're like, hey, you have a foot thing. Let me let you suck on my toes, even though maybe it's not like my top scenario, but like this makes you feel good, so it makes me feel good. But if you have a partner who won't hear you out or just won't engage, they're like off the table immediately, then I think that could be hard to move forward. You want someone who's just open and willing to listen, just as you are, but you also want to talk to them in a way that's not pressuring them. Yeah,
I like that. And I can see how communication plays a big point, and that both people want to put in the effort. I will have to disagree on the compatibility. I realized that, recently, that sexual sex drive is so important to me now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Yeah. But I realized that I have a very high sex drive. Yeah. And I cannot be with someone that I've heard, sometimes people have a roller coaster sex drive where they goes into lulls that they're just not prioritizing, and then they ramp up different times. I'm a consistent person. Yeah. In sex in most areas. I'm just kind of more of a consistent person. So for me, I don't care if I'm going to a depressive state. I want sex.
Interesting.
I don't care if I'm busy as fuck. I want sex. That's something that I realize that now as I'm dating, that I have to, at least they're like mid to high, and that maybe they have more of a consistent sex drive. And I just realized that's like one of my top 5 non-negotiables now.
Wow. That's so, it's interesting because Dr. Emily Nagoski was saying like, that's maybe like 10 to 20% of people is like stress they can have sex no matter stress. Where like 80% of people, like stress really affects them and will get in the way of that. And so then you have to learn what completes your stress cycle, so then you can feel what's ever in your body and then allow your body to make room for horniness or whatever the emotion you want is. So that's interesting that you're like one of the 20% of people that's like, that's cool.
Yeah. So now I know though.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that. And I think that could be a big barrier for connection. Like if I were to get married, I just don't think that if I was especially monogamous, I don't think that I could do it.
I'd be curious have you read Come As You Are?
I would. Okay. I will. I have not yet.
No, that's just her book. And she explores that. She explores different drives in people. And it's just very interesting. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it because I think sex drive is like, if it's your non-negotiable, then like do that. Like, you know that for yourself. That's amazing. But I also think that as someone with like what would be considered a lower sex drive, women often feel such shame around their sex drives because men are more often than not have spontaneous desire, which is seen as the higher sex drive. And so a lot of women just don't even know what it is that turns themselves on.
Yes.
And so maybe there's a world where you could end up with a partner who thinks they have a lower sex drive, but they just have a responsive desire and haven't discovered what it is yet that gets them in the mood more often. I don't know. Yeah. It'd be an interesting thing to see if you guys would line up that way or not, if after they do that work on themselves.
Yeah, I would like to talk about this more in detail in one of the future episodes.
Yeah.
Is like sexual compatibility and how that plays such a factor. Honestly, I'm like to a point where I really want somebody to coach me and like
cool. Yeah, you also don't want to be the one doing the work all the time and being like,
that was what was the big part. Is that I was setting the sex dates. I was making the plans.
You also just want a partner who's going to show up for you in general, and how they treat one part of their life shows how they treat every part of their life. So if they're not showing up in that way, then they might not be showing up in other ways. And that's why I'm so thankful that my partner and I like talk. We both want sex and we both want to make it work with each other. So we both put in the work to get to our like point of connection.
Yeah. I love that. Well, this is a great conversation to further had. And thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Oh my God, of course. Thank you for having me. It's so great to finally chat to you. We've been like chatting online forever, and it's so great to like finally sit down.
Yes. And where can everybody find you?
I am at Vibe Slut on Instagram and Rat Girls Podcast, and like come say hey.
Awesome. Go check out her podcast. She's awesome. I love your social media posts. So go check it out. Thank you.
Yeah.